On this episode, we finally get around to the topic we've been teasing for over 2 years.
That's right. You demanded it, and we deliver.
No one asked for this. Welcome to Save Every Universe. My name is Alec Garcia. I'm a 30-something husband and father of 2. I either want powerful narrative, or I want to get straight to the shooting. Skip. How do I melee?
My name is Robbie. I am a father, student, gamer, in that order. I love every type of game. And I've recently rediscovered my faith in Square Enix.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Why? Just because they're putting all the stuff on other platforms and stuff? Or
I just am playing all of it.
All the old ones that they're...
No, all the new stuff. Like I'm playing Nier Automata.
Oh, yeah.
I love Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying Octopath Traveler.
Do you think it's Final Fantasy. They diverse... I was thinking about this the other day because they put out Tomb Raider as well. Yeah. Do you think it's because they sort of diversified and kind of got their feet wet in different genres and they're figuring out how to do more than just JRPG, and so they're kind of stealing tricks from different bags?
I think that's some of it, because they've kind of broken out of what they always did. Yeah. But I think they've also learned what makes the RPGs good. They've distilled it down. They've had plenty of flops, right, over the last 20 years. And I think they finally know what their audiences want, and they know how to make a game for which audience. Mm-hmm. They're not just, let's make a JRPG, right? They know hey, our Eastern crowd loves these types of games, like Persona or whatever. Yeah. I don't think they made Persona, but games like that. They know the traditional JRPG
crowd.
But they know how to Octopath Traveler is a good example of if you read a lot of the reviews, and this has been my experience as well. You look at it and go, "Oh, this looks like traditional JRPG." Yeah. But it's not. There's
okay.
It's
because all the reviews I read of that one, actually, they were sort of like this is great because it's what JRPG lovers have always wanted or something like that.
So that's the key. They know what you love about them, but they're not stale. They're doing enough new, fresh...
Yeah, because they did some interesting narrative stuff there.
Yeah, they did. Right? There's some really cool stuff about the game.
Huh, interesting. Well, cool. Good for you, man. Good for you finding your way home.
I found my way back home. Yeah.
So today we are talking about... it's the final episode of the podcast, Robbie. How do you feel, man?
Really good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
I have let you drag me through this for years now.
If you've watched our YouTube sketches, there was one where Robbie was about to quit. Go check it out if you haven't seen our YouTube sketches.
No, good. When we started the podcast a couple years ago, I thought you were crazy. Mm-hmm. But it's actually been a lot of fun.
Yeah, you were will people listen to us? Can we even get how many episodes can we do? And it's 112 or something, or 115.
I think it's 115th episode or something.
Yeah. We went way longer than we should have.
Yeah, we get that a lot.
We're way past expiration date.
We're past our prime.
Yeah.
But no, it's been good. I think, so this is our last episode, and it's not anything bad. It's just that our lives have changed a lot.
Yeah, different stages of life. You're about to graduate you're about to get barred by the mayor.
Yeah.
Graduate from law school.
And it's just the schedule of podcasting every week is just...
a little intense.
It's just something we can't keep up anymore.
Yeah, so we are going to keep putting some stuff out on our YouTube channel here and there, maybe some Let's Plays, maybe some more sketches and that kind of thing. But it's going to be a little bit more laid back, and the podcast is going to go... These episodes will be up if you want to... They'll be archived. And if you're hearing this in the future, welcome
to all of our future listeners.
I guess I should have sounded more like a ghost. Maybe I'd be dead and someone was hearing this.
Alec's not dying. No. So there's no concern. He's not terminal. And are you?
This got dark.
Are you dying?
No. Oh. I should be after eating that damn chicken wrap, I think. Anyway,
so actually, we have some ideas for... I have some stuff I want to do this summer on the YouTube channel.
Yes,
some new sketches and stuff.
And we have a stack of scripts of sketches that we just never got around to doing. So we'll probably get around to doing that kind of thing. But if you're a longtime listener, we have been teasing since the very beginning that if you ever hear us do an episode on beach sims, then our time has come, and that's right. We've run out of ideas, and this is our final episode. So Robbie, why don't you kick us off on beach sims?
One of the best beach sims I ever played was Beach Sim 3K. It was this...
Is that a real game?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so I Googled and searched on YouTube. I looked up best beach sims. I found some shit, and I was like, there's no way I can do this. I can't even watch YouTube videos about this. So
when we were doing our VR episode, there were some
That's what it
beach
was.
sims that came up, and it was quickly sliding into like
But they were like super
girls in
shitty, low
bikinis into like
quality and...
softcore pornography VR, and I was like, no. So I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe when the technology gets better, we'll come back. We'll come out of retirement.
We'll have to. Our fans will demand it.
So we can't, in good conscience, do an episode about beach sims. So what we're going to do instead is talk about like the future of gaming. Kind of kick this off on a speculatorial note.
Ooh, that's a good word. It's fake, but it's good.
That's what I was about to say. That sounds really real.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not.
Speculatorial. Try it in Scrabble sometime.
Speculative. That's a word.
Yeah, that's
speculative oriole.
I'll take oral speculative for 500.
That sounds kinky. So yeah, we're going to talk about the future of gaming, kind of like as we depart from this here podcast world.
I mean, we're not stopping gaming at all.
Right. That's the, but we're gamers at heart, and just schedule-wise, podcasting is a lot. So, but we want to talk about today, like where do we think gaming is going to go in the future? Because right now, as of this recording, all the PS5 stuff just like got finally leaked. Did it leak? Or did it just get announced? It kind of got announced,
There's some details that have been announced, but there's not like been an actual...
Yeah, but there's like actual real details though now for people talking about next-gen consoles, and there's the Google Stadia, and there's like all this stuff. Do you have an opening thought for us, sir, on the future of gaming?
One of the greatest things that I think is going to happen is Valve is going to continue to say that they're going to start making stuff. But in the next 5 years, we won't see anything great.
I saw a YouTube video that said leaked Left 4 Dead 3 leaked images, and I couldn't even click on it. Like, my heart's been broken too many times.
I am so sick of announcements that Valve is like, Gabe Newell announces he's getting back in the software. Just shut up. Like, I don't want to hear it.
Do you think it will finally happen though, because of like the Epic Store is actually like starting to like throw punches and stuff, and like the what do they call them, like the platform, like the delivery platforms, the library systems and stuff, like Steam is possibly starting to fragment a little bit, and so they're going to lose a little bit. They were the platform for PC gamers, period.
But was the problem ever that they weren't making money? Like, people loved Orange Box, people loved Portal 2, people loved Left 4 Dead. Like, what flop have they come out with that people are like, wow, this really sucks? No, people couldn't give them enough money, and if that didn't motivate them when they were like, no, I don't think I don't know what's gonna...
Well, but like making games versus selling other people's games, and you kind of had like a little bit of a monopoly on the market, and if they lose some of that monopoly, maybe they'll be like, well, fine, maybe we have to make some games now.
It's two different business practices.
Yeah.
So if they've already like gotten rid of all their developers...
You don't think Gabe Newell's like Scrooge McDucking on a pile of cash, like, and he's gonna throw like $1 trillion at Half-Life 3? Wouldn't that be amazing?
It would. It's not gonna...
It would. What if it was just the biggest piece of shit?
I'm worried it would be, right? Like, they already got rid of all the developers that were working on it.
Yeah.
So...
That's true.
I don't know.
Yeesh. Okay.
So that's my opening prediction.
Good prediction,
My opening
Robbie.
prediction is you're going to continue to see news articles about Valve software that'll never come to fruition.
Yeah.
You can hang your hat on that.
World War Z, we were playing World War Z last night, and it's like as good and better in some ways than Left 4 Dead.
Easy, pal.
You
tread on holy ground.
It's a solid like 4-player co-op zombie shooter, and
it's fantastic.
And it's good because they stole so many pages out of the Left 4 Dead book.
Yeah.
There's like things that look like straight up rip off, but like I don't mind it because I love Left 4 Dead so much.
Right. And obviously Valve wasn't going to do it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying they deserve like the full credit, like they reinvented the genre and it's way better than Left 4 Dead. I'm saying like they took all the good shit from Left 4 Dead and made another good zombie game.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, I'm okay. I'm glad somebody's doing it.
So, but like Left 4 Dead 3, would it be impressive now? Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Of course it would.
Where are they going to go? So maybe they're right to just sit
They came out with Left 4 Dead 2 pretty quickly after Left 4 Dead 1.
Yeah.
And I was like, this feels rushed. Yeah. And then it was amazing. Yeah. So...
if you would like to hear more on this topic, go listen to our Conspiracies episode where we talked about Half-Life 3.
It's never happening.
Yeah.
So let's have some more positive predictions.
So, okay, let's talk about the PS5 here real quick.
Okay.
So they're talking about like a super fast modern, in quotes, GPU, whatever the hell that means.
It's modern, that's what it means. It comes out in 2020.
Yeah, but they're saying, some of the tech in that they're saying is comparable or better than like what's going to be in PCs, which is like a really crazy, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's what it'll be in old PCs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, anybody can, hey, the stuff coming out in the 2020 PS5 is better than what's in my PC from 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
Be careful.
It's never gonna.
What are they talking about here?
I'm just saying what the people are saying.
Just look at the physical size of a PC. Like,
I know,
and they haven't jumped the gap of quantum computing yet. So
I think what they were saying with it though is that there was like some consideration for how all the parts are going to be optimized to work exactly perfectly together in a way that, like, if someone's building a PC with like a bunch of parts that are powerful and put them together, they don't necessarily jive in the same way as this thing that's been like crafted to like bang on all cylinders with each piece of tech carefully crafted. That was the argument. I'm not saying.
If you listen to our PC versus console gaming episode, I think there's plenty of
this episode's just our farewell is like, go listen to all our episodes. They're really good.
That's not how we planned it out, but
no.
Well, okay, so one, I think in practice that could be true because those games are developed the same argument that's always been true on console.
Right.
If you have a really powerful console that was developed with a game that was specifically meant to utilize that entire architecture or whatever infrastructure, however you want to say it. Then I could see it outperforming PC. There's plenty of games that run better on a console versus a PC purely for that reason. Right.
Yeah. It's been optimized well for that, exactly for that.
But
platform.
The software has been optimized. Yeah. I'm not sure that.
Can you? Yeah, I don't know.
Does Sony make video cards? No.
Right.
They don't make RAM. So, like, what do they mean by that?
Well, they're probably working with somebody to make a thing specifically for PS5.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. I don't know why I'm sounding all negative. Those claims are such bullshit.
They are. I mean, anytime you get into comparing consoles to PC, it's like going to be this dark rabbit hole of never-ending argument.
No. But I did see the leak, like the theoretical load times on Spider-Man. Did you see that video?
I guess it wasn't, like, they actually tested it. It was like a PS5 dev kit. And it was 15 seconds for fast travel load time on a PS4 Pro, and then on a PS5 it was 0.8 seconds.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
I saw the video. It was crazy.
And I was thinking about that too, and I was trying to think about why the load times on Anthem bothered me like so much. You know what I mean? And it really shouldn't. But I think it
shouldn't be just because of you play other games with load screens.
With load screens and stuff, but it's starting to bother me more. Once you pointed it out, like I went back to Destiny, I was like, oh, there are a lot of load screens.
Sorry.
And it's like starting to bother me everywhere, and I think that is a trend. That is a thing, and I think part of the future of gaming is going to be using tech to create a more seamless immersion over, like, I think that might even take precedence or take priority. Precedence? Priority.
Precedent.
Exactly right. Over like visual fidelity and those kinds of things, right? Like if you can just get in and it's because people still play WoW. People play indie games that are like 2D cool things and stuff, that kind of thing. So visual fidelity is not everything, and I kind of think the future of it might be like if you can get close to no load screens and you just drop into a world and you get sucked into it and you spend your time there. Yeah, I think devs are going to try to achieve that in this next generation or get as close to it as they can.
Yeah, I mean that's a great point.
I mean, look at God of War too, right? They hid their load screens so well that it almost didn't feel like there were any ever. There was no load time ever. It didn't feel like it anyway.
Right, because of I forgot. I guess the load screens are more like when you're like doing changing worlds, right? Yeah. But it doesn't. It feels like the world's changed. Like,
I would plug a past episode if I could remember what it was, but we just talked about how devs are getting better at concealing their load screens,
which is why you didn't notice it in Destiny,
right? Because your ship's at least flying. And it kind of so distracts you. Were like, oh no! When you can check your gear, you can pause and go through your stuff. And Anthem is just a hard load screen. Yeah. Right. But I think in general that is going to be a trend of the future. Is seamless immersion. Versus just like, wait for the load screen, trust me, it'll be worth it. Look, it's beautiful. Kind of thing.
Well, it's the arena it's not been won yet, right? Yeah. So, I mean, that's still... we've done visually some amazing things, and we'll continue to, right? Yeah. But, I mean, look at the way... We're capturing things with people's actual faces now, and it's like...
not only that, the Unreal Engine stuff we were watching too. Remember, like if you haven't seen these, go on YouTube and check out the new Unreal Engine test stuff where they're modeling physical environments, and the engine can just take like these grass banks down like a worn like dirt road, and it just models it perfectly with like procedurally generated grass and all kinds of stuff.
It's amazing.
It's getting to where they can just map physical environments and then just sort of like plunk things in there, and the engine just generates really amazing looking shit. Yeah, it's really cool. I think it's a great point. You know what else I want to see on the PS5, and we've talked about this offline, but
I think there's another battle being waged on backwards compatibility and old libraries. Xbox One has been really winning on that. Like, there's a bunch of Xbox fans that, like, that's why they still play, because they can go back and play all their 360 games, and the 360 games have, like, a new coat of polish on it. They look better. They run faster.
Yeah.
I mean, they never went all the way back to their original Xbox stuff, right?
Probably some stuff. Well, I mean, you get like Halo 1 that was actually just full on remastered and stuff. I don't know. I'm not enough of an Xboner guy to know.
Xboner. I've got an Xboner right now just thinking about it. But Sony, there's rumors that Sony's going to do the same thing and go all the way back to their original stuff.
It's sounding fairly firm from what I was reading that they're not giving up on physical media. It'll still have a disc drive. I guess that got confirmed.
Oh yeah, we were talking about this last night when we were playing World War Z.
Yeah.
Well, I thought my theory on that is, like, Sony makes money on Blu-ray discs.
Yeah.
They own the market on that. Why would they?
And there is like I was saying last night, like, I have an Apple TV 4K HD thing, and it's really, really good. And I think Blu-ray probably is a little bit better. Like, I bet you can get, like, some higher quality, like, sound versus, like, streaming something out of the cloud still, like, and that kind of thing. So if you're an enthusiast, I bet you still want, if you're like a movie buff or something, you probably still want the disc. If you have a good sound system and those kinds of things, you probably still want the disc.
I still have, like, so many discs that I hold that we use at our house that I haven't, like, moved over. I haven't completely converted over to digital only.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nice. Like, my place has kind of spotty internet.
Yeah.
You know, many times I've been grateful that, like, I had a Blu-ray.
The kids are asking for a movie. And you're like, thank God I can just put that. Yeah.
I can put this in. Like, again, we talked about this on a past episode about the importance of infrastructure and how you can't just cut off. You can't make everything internet specific.
It has to go gradual, yeah.
At least for where we're at in New Mexico. Like, I'm grateful that we still have...
a lot of the country is, like, rural flyover country. We're not the... I mean, population density-wise, we're the exception, but, like, geographically, we're not.
Yeah, there's plenty of places, even in the U.S., let alone the rest of the world,
right?
It would be kind of silly to just completely remove.
And I think that the backward compatibility conversation is kind of the same thing. Like, I think that's going to be part of the future of gaming too, is more of these incremental steps that are more inclusive of the whole population versus, like, these generational jumps, right? Like, I think they have to do that. Like, if I could buy a PS5 and have access to my whole PS4 library and play with my PS4 games with my friends and it, like, keep that unity across those two generations, but then I would be willing to pay for the hardware so that my games load faster and and old games look better and I'm on the boat for the next gen of games and stuff. Like, yes, hell yes. Why would you not do that?
It would probably be
makes so much more sense.
If that's true, it's going to be the first time that I buy a console at launch.
Right.
Because I always wait about a year because I have so many great games already on the old gen.
Yeah, like, if you could buy it and still play if you want to play Anthem, but, like,
or like one guy playing Anthem,
the Division 2 or, like, what, like, these legacy games that you want to just, like, keep playing until, like, the next installment comes out and years down the road or whatever. Like, you still want to have access to all that shit, right? Like, why? Yeah.
Or you end up in that awkward position where, like, so, like, Last of Us didn't.
Came out at the end of the PS3 lifespan.
It came out at the end, and PS4 came out.
Yeah.
And I wanted to still play Last of Us, so, like, I was playing.
And the
remaster
remaster didn't come out for a couple more years,
right?
Yeah.
So, like, I played it on PS3 after the PS4 was out,
right?
Because I didn't have a PS4 at first,
right?
And I was like, well, I'd much rather play Last of Us than the release titles of PS4.
Yes.
So why would I buy a PS4?
The PS4 launch titles were pretty weak,
right? And the Switch was the same way. Like, you bought a Switch to play Breath of the Wild, but I still had a Wii U.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I don't need to buy Mario Kart yet. Yeah. Because I have Mario Kart. I don't need to play. Yeah. Like, I can do this all on my Wii U.
And there's people who, like, never got on the PlayStation bandwagon this generation. That if they could buy a PS5 and get access to, like, to all the great exclusives that came out these last 2 years, like, why wouldn't you do that? That would be amazing.
It'd be fantastic. Yeah. I really hope that comes true. I hope Xbox does it too. Honestly, if they both do it, I'll be really, like, hard pressed, because I think that would be so much fun to be able to play both. To go back and play every game. Like, just, it would be fun even to get with your friends and randomly do, like...
I mean, their offering would have to be, like, really good, though. I don't know. Because, like, having access to that library, like, I've been so invested in PlayStation this generation that it's like... what can Xbox offer like reverse wise? You have to go all the way back to 360, and then I would kind of be buying it as like more of a nostalgia machine than as like I'm invested in this library and in this hardware. And
I wouldn't have the cash to buy both. I always end up with both.
At some point.
I end up with both.
Yeah.
Like right now, I barely touch my Xbox One.
Yeah.
But I have it.
Yeah.
And I randomly play stuff on it, and I'd end up with both. Especially if they both were backwards compatible, I'd ultimately end up with both.
Yeah.
I don't know which. I'd probably. PS4 has been such a great generation. I kind of feel the same way. Yeah. Like if I had to pick which one I carried forward with me, and I play my PS4 so much more than my Xbox.
Well, the library is just so much better. But yeah, like, and we've said on the podcast many times before, like, we want to see better competition coming out of Microsoft and kind of taking it to Sony and coming out with their own good exclusives. I would love it if I felt pulled, like, oh, which one do I own? There's so many good games, but it's like most of it's on Sony. Like,
okay, so what would it take for Microsoft to convert you next gen?
See, all their properties that they have, like Gears of War, I don't care. Halo, I don't care. Like, I haven't cared about Halo in a long since Reach, probably. And
Cuphead,
yeah. No, I would. It's out on Switch this week or something like that. Yeah. So
I played it on PC. But it was fun.
Oh yeah, it looks really, really good. So I would get a Switch way before I would. I don't even know at this point. I'm like so not. To me, there's nothing Microsoft is doing at all that is even remotely interesting, that like I haven't even thought about it in so long that I don't even know what they could do to get me back. But I mean, I would have to see, I think maybe some like really interesting, like brand new IP kind of stuff. And I think that's what they need to really come back. I don't think cross-play with Nintendo is enough to like convince people to come back. You know what I mean? Like clearly people want really strong first-party titles kind of stuff, like what Sony's doing.
Right. Well, I mean, they did really good with PUBG. They had a lot of people join their team, but then Fortnite came out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like at first, I was like, oh, this will be a good comeback.
But their launch on it, like they didn't, whoever the PlayerUnknown group, the developers or whatever, like didn't develop properly for it. So like the launch was a train wreck, and so they didn't have anything going on.
It's still one of the top selling video games of all time.
So I'm curious though, but they have been like putting lots of studios in their hopper for a good while. So I think they're gonna come out. Hopefully that's what they're doing, is they're like building a really cool network of developers and giving them creative freedom to do cool shit. Because that's basically what Sony did. If you look at Cory Barlog, they were like, we want a new God of War. We want you to reinvent it. You look at him all the time?
I look at him, yeah.
You just have the poster in your locker while you're blowing.
I look at him
while you're blowing bubbles and blowing kisses at boys and stuff.
No, I don't blow bubbles. I just look at Cory Balrog.
That's what I think, man. You open your locker, your school books are in there. You're blowing.
He's not in my locker. Okay.
You don't have the poster? No. Everyone's got the poster
of Cory Balrog.
Anyway, they like kind of cut him loose, right? They were like, he was like, I'm gonna do this and I want to do it this way, and they were like, cool, like we'll cut you loose, dude. Yeah,
they've done such amazing. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they'll get you with. So if they truly are building a network of indie gamers, indie game developers, then maybe that'll rope you back in. So
actually, I wanted to come around to indie because this has kind of been like turned into like a golden age of indie developers, right? Has. And I think I was looking, I guess, ray tracing, right? Like no one can explain it well, but I heard someone talking about how it actually makes development easier, because right now they have to like sort of devs sort of have to manually like create like shadows and reflections and what we were talking about with the Unreal, right? Like they're able to like map these real environments and then sort of quickly recreate them inside of the Unreal Engine. They're able to set a light source and then get like these great reflections and shadows and stuff like that. Like I'm kind of wondering if the tech's not going to get to a place where it actually becomes easier for developers with some of this stuff to create these really beautiful, stunning worlds.
To where they don't need a skyscraper of
people like manually making one shadow or one like the rays of sunlight coming through the leaves and shit. Like that sort of just naturally is generated by these modern tools. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's not going to be the toolbox of the future allows like indie developers to sort of like keep pace with AAAs. Yeah, because the technology like requires less people, and we get better stuff that's not this AAA like annualized, like what we were talking about on the last episode. Yeah, that it's just like to stay economical, they have to just churn shit out using like the same stuff they've already built. If like, you know what I mean? If the tech of the future will allow smaller teams to create really beautiful stuff, but focus on mechanics and story more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. As long as my only concern is an oversaturation of the market.
Yeah, which could happen.
Yeah, that'd be kind of crazy if We made it easy for small developers, and then all of a sudden Purina is making a
and then you would see like kind of
PS5 game.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh god, it's all happening
again.
again.
You'd see kind of a bubble bust, like like a deflation at least of kind of what we're seeing with AAAs now, where they're kind of all doing the same thing a little bit. And yeah, that'd
be crazy. You know, speaking of that, like I feel really apprehensive about Google getting into the gaming world.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't know if I'm just like an old dinosaur or something, but like it kind of makes me like, no, I don't. Get out of here. Like, we have a nice thing going.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, like, and this is like conspiracy theory. Well, not really. Like, Google's so in the business of gathering people's data and shit, and like, I just don't trust it totally. You know what I mean? Like, maybe game developers are doing that to some degree, but like, they're in the business of making games and selling you games and selling you content and selling you these things.
So if a game developer,
Google makes me nervous. Like, they would be using it for some other, like, like, we got everybody on our platform, and now what the fuck are they going to do with it? It makes me a little nervous.
It feels a little weird. Like, I use an Android, I have Google Home, I use Chrome, like I use a lot of Google stuff, and even I'm a little like, I like to kind of keep some things separate. I don't know if I necessarily want
in the
one corporation that's dominating literally all my tech.
Well, and we talked about this a little while ago with the streaming services, that probably it's going to go toward, I think that's probably coming, right? The tech's not there yet, but cloud gaming is probably the future, right? And I think it's likely that you're going to see that, where it's like Netflix, Hulu, Prime, like you subscribe to like the Sony library and the Microsoft library, like, you know what I mean? And you have like one controller or however that works. I'm not even opposed to that, where I would subscribe to multiple services that have one controller because they're all basically the same, and you would pay these different services, and it was all about them creating the best IP and not hardware races and those kinds of things. I'm cool with that. But Google specifically, like, kind of creeps me out. It's like, yeah, I agree with you. It's like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Because Apple's not doing that, are they?
Not yet, but that wouldn't surprise me either. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. It's not like I only feel that way about Google.
Right.
I feel the same way about Apple.
No, it's these third-party people that are like, third-party, I mean, like outside of the gaming industry, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, that are swooping
fourth
in.
Parties. Nobody invites the fourth party people.
Yeah,
I don't know. It weirds me out.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I mean, they didn't say a whole lot really in that announcement, and we haven't heard much else more from what I've seen. But it makes me a little uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Which is weird. Like, I'm now playing games on my cell phone.
Right.
And I'm okay with that.
Maybe we're just old. We're like, I don't trust the man looking.
My 6-year-old's going to be a teenager being like, Dad, God, are you still playing Xbox?
Yeah.
Yeah, son. Google is where all the games are, Dad.
I don't trust them as far as I can throw them.
They used to just be in the telephone business.
They used to be in the telephone business?
Well, it's our phones.
Do they go back that far? Is this the conspiracy?
There is a conspiracy. The Bell Company was actually Mr. Bell Google. That was his full name. I can't remember. What is it?
Alexander. Look for that on our YouTube channel. Bell? That might have to be a sketch.
Alexander Bell's middle name was Google.
Fast cuts through like all these documents. Look, I'll show you. Tape on the wall and stuff.
You can't Google it because they removed it from the internet. But it's true. I went back to Pennsylvania.
What they want you to see.
You think they don't know? That's curated content, man.
Look for that on our YouTube channel in the future.
One.
Last one I want to talk about, like future prediction-y kind of stuff. So PS5, and I imagine others will probably get in on it too, is like they're designing their hardware with VR in mind, and they're planning on releasing a new version of PSVR that's wireless and better visually, little googly goggles.
Google, there it is again.
And haptics, like people have been talking like all through with after Ready Player One and everything, and like they're like you're seeing cool tech now of people demonstrating being able to interact with digital environments like in a much more virtual environments in a much more like real way or whatever. Like I think that's coming, and I would I think this might be the year that like later down the year we'll see what happens with PS5, but the PS5 generation, whenever that is, 2020 2021.
No, I thought it was 2020.
Is it? Does that get confirmed?
Nothing's confirmed.
Yeah.
This is not a confirmed episode.
I'm very curious to see where they go with VR, and I might have to like finally get on the VR boat.
Yeah, it'd be really cool. I can't wait for my wife to still not let me buy VR.
I would keep it at my office is what would happen.
She'll never even know. You'll be like, what's this $300 charge on some business expenses?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Business expenses. Ship it straight to the office. No questions asked. Unmarked box. I'll call Sony about that. Yeah.
I might have to start my own law firm so I can have an office to have PSVR. It's going to dictate my entire career path.
I think probably that's the smartest thing you've ever said.
Yeah.
I'd like to end on that note.
Yeah. The future of my career is actually just PS5 VR.
Thank you for listening to Save Every Universe. If you enjoyed this episode, do whatever you want. We love you. We love you. Thank you for listening. If you've been a listener since the very beginning, much appreciate all of your ear holes on our station.
Special thanks to our champions of the universe who came and supported us while we were doing this. It was you guys were awesome. We really appreciate your support. And if you have enjoyed our content, like I said before, go check out our YouTube channel, Save Every Universe. I have some ideas about. I think we're going to do one about Ashley explaining video games. Yeah, and we're going to keep doing.
Rob's got some good ideas for some content with his wife. And stuff. Yeah,
and Tony will help me film it. So it should be good.
And we have and if you're new to this and you somehow just discovered us because you were searching for beach sims.
First of all, see a therapist.
Yeah, go back and check out some of our older episodes and stuff. We really did some deep dive on some pretty interesting topics. I feel like I'm a better gamer now from doing this podcast. As weird as that sounds, we researched a ton of shit and I think about games, I think better than I used to, at least.
Yeah, I actually think it's expanded my mind and it's changed the way I analyze video games and it's been a really pleasant experience.
Yeah, so thank you if you're listening for the first time or the 115th time. Check us out on YouTube. Love you. Smooches. Responds naturally to that light source and
Tony, you should cut this. No, don't stop the episode.
That's how it is.
Our very last episode ends with a phone call coming in and it just cuts.
That's a good idea.
That's it. Our time's up.